I'm going to walk you through today how to make one of our traditional holiday centerpieces. We're going to be using floral foam, so I've pre-soaked some in water. I'm also going to make it a candle centerpiece, so you're going to want to get a traditional pillar candle, and if you can find them, the candle holder to go in the foam, but if not, you can shove this directly in the foam. It's just a little bit looser. You're going to need an assortment of greenery, evergreen material, fir, cedar, spruce, etc., and then some flowers. I like to do reds and whites to go with Christmas, but use whatever colors suit your decor and your holiday traditions, and we'll go from there. I've got a couple container options. This is a normal design dish. This is the full oval design dish. Just depends on the size you want. Besides these, let's say you can't get these, you literally can use anything. My suggestion though to really do this arrangement is that we want to use foam so that we can get the shape we want. If you don't like foam because of the eco-friendliness of it, you could do chicken wire, but you're gonna want a solid colored container to hide the mechanics. You do not want a clear vase. Whatever size and style suits your fancy, go for it. Today, I'm gonna be using this because it's a little bit smaller, and then I can share my materials with you. So, our first step today is to add foam to our container. So I have pre-soaked foam. If you haven't done that step yet, floral foam, you can find this at any craft store, but sometimes it has dots and sometimes it doesn't, but if it does, you want to put that water side down, but you never want to shove and force floral foam for soaking. You want to just set it on top of the water and let it do its course. 5 to 10 minutes should be enough. Longer if you can, just to really make sure you got a good soak. You want cold water, and if possible, when you buy flowers, they should come with a flower food packet. Add that to the water ahead of time so that this becomes both water and nutrients and not just water. When you're ready to go, if your container has pegs like mine, you're literally gonna place the floral foam into those pegs. If it doesn't, then just squish it and mold it to fit your container. When we're creating this design, we want our material, I want it to be a rounded centerpiece because I'm gonna put it at the table for the holiday dinner. So I want all sides showing. In order to do that and have stuff flowing down towards the table, I need to cut my foam above the edge of the container. If I cut it flush with the container, all I can do is put stuff directly up and down, or for the edges, they're all gonna be pointed downwards in order to get in that foam, which makes them go like this, like a V instead of downward. So we wanna do about a finger or so above the edge of the container for trimming today. You can use a butter knife to do this. You can use a piece of floral wire, but that is about where I want it. I'm gonna trim it up so that it is a flat surface. Pretty dang good. My next step is going to be to add our candle holder, because in reality, by the time I'm done and ready for the candle, I'm gonna cover this foam as much as possible. So I'm gonna jab this guy in the direct center and push it all the way down so that the flat part meets the top of the foam. If you're not gonna use one of these and you're just gonna shove the candle in, I would wait till the end step to do that, but try to imagine the diameter of your candle and leave space for it. It's gonna be too hard to go through, these twigs, the stems, especially because most of them are woody and stiffer, and so it won't be able to go through if you cover everything. You need to leave some space that is just foam for it. All right, so let's talk shape. This is a round shaped container. I can mimic that with my greenery, but I can also play with the lengths of my material to create a different shape. If you wanted to accentuate and make it a diamond, I can make it an oval, whatever it is that you're looking for. My suggestion is to set those longer points if you're going to extend it, and then fill in your spaces between there. My dining table for the Christmas holiday is gonna be quite small this year, but it is still a rectangular table. So instead of just a circle, I am going to extend it and make it a diamond shape. I'll draw on the board for you. So if my table is like this, I'm gonna place it in the center. There's my starting point. I actually want my flowers to be a diamond. So I've extended it. So I'm gonna place greenery to do these points, because those will be my longest points, and then I will fill in the space between there. Does that make sense? I hope so. So we're gonna start with those points. So I'm gonna pull out longer pieces in order to get that done. 4 longer pieces. And then everything else we will trim for that. All right. Our next tip, once you have your pieces, we want a naked stem going in the foam, just like we want a naked stem going in the vase. So you're gonna take your thumb and forefinger and peel off some of these needles so that you've got just a stubby end going in. If you harvested your greenery a couple days or further back from the time you're making this, you may want to give a fresh cut because sometimes they encapsulate and the sap builds up and they kind of seal off. And to make this last longer, especially if you're keeping it indoors for the holiday, you're gonna want a fresh cut so it can soak up that cold water. Mine's pretty fresh still, so I'm just gonna jab her in. I'm gonna start with my point there. My point. I have my longest points. Now everything else, I'm gonna connect the dots, but I'm gonna keep it in line with each other, everything's shorter. My first step is gonna be to do all the greenery, and I do have different types of greenery. You may have that too, you may only have one. If you're gonna work with multiple greenery, I suggest mixing it up as you go. Don't make layers, you wanna kind of blend it together. So I'm gonna do all my greenery around the edge first to create that shape. My second step is gonna be to add some on the top to create that depth. And then I will decorate with flowers to accentuate and add the candle last. There's my shape so far. I've got my shape pretty much intact. I've covered a lot of that foam. Because it's green on green, you don't have to cover every square inch, but you do want to camouflage so you don't see the foam when you're seated. That's the other thing. You're gonna want to take a moment a couple times and check from that seated position. Sometimes it looks differently and you're angling everything up just because you're standing up. And when you would sit down, you would totally see that foam, so double check it. My next step, I've kind of already started with a few pieces. I want to add some greenery to the top and then accent in with the flowers. And then I will finish it off with a candle. Some of these top pieces I am angling up more so than this, but I do want to maintain that coverage and mixture of material. Here's what I've got so far. I haven't covered all of the top. I've left space for these because they are broader. So I'm gonna start mixing my flowers in. I don't really have a shape in mind because my shape is this diamond of the whole piece, but I'm gonna add these in, and then if I have any extra gaps, I'll go ahead and fill them in, and then we'll add the candle and we'll be done. I have everything filled in. I have my flowers spread out. Everything's covered. I'm gonna go ahead and add my candle to my holder. And this is my holiday candle centerpiece.